All right, guys, I am in shock after that one. Game just ended literally 30 seconds ago. You are getting about as raw of a reaction as you can. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who came out and participated in the stream tonight. We had a lot of fun. There was a lot of drama. I got really stressed out. The chat got really stressed out. The whole thing got kind of ridiculous there. But the Huskies won, and we all got to watch it together as a team. We all got to take it in as a team. We got to watch some really special players on this team just go all the way and give everything that they had to get this done. And did we ever need it? Because there were also some areas where there were just some inexcusable, unacceptable things going wrong. So where do we even start with this one? I think we got to start with Michael Penix. I think we got to start with Michael Penix. He is so unbelievably good in this game. That is maybe the best game I've ever seen Michael Penix play. That is the best game I've seen Penix play this year for sure. He brings it on the biggest stage in basically a road environment. He's throwing lasers. He's throwing BBs. He's making big plays. He's making short plays. He's running with the ball. He's showing his mobility, showing his ability to go get first downs with his legs. It is unbelievable what Penix did out there today. Huge ups to Michael Penix, who looked like a Heisman Trophy winner today. I know he didn't win it, and I know there have been some shaky games in the past, but tonight, he was as good as it can be. And I don't even think the numbers, which are really good, are going to do it justice. This guy was an absolute machine out there, and right now, he looks about as pro-capable of a quarterback as you will find. And before this game, I would not have said that. Before this game, I would not have said that I view Michael Penix as some kind of a high potential pro quarterback. So I think this game has kind of made me reevaluate him at least a little bit. There are some hurdles there, but tonight he was so awesome that there has to be a little bit of a CJ Stroud effect. CJ Stroud lit the world on fire in his playoff game last year and boosted his draft stock up, and look at how good he's been. Penix kind of had a similar kind of game. 430 passing yards, probably added another 30 on the ground or so. Not enough can be said about the game Penix played tonight. And it all started with him. You cannot talk about this game without talking about the dominance of Michael Penix. Offensive line, I thought, played a really good game. No sacks on Penix. We couldn't run the ball, but we all knew we weren't going to be able to run the ball. Odunze, awesome. McMillan, awesome. Westover, that dude's going to be playing in the NFL. Maybe he won't have a huge role or anything, but he belongs in the NFL all day long. Polk, making that big play to start the game, basically. Wow. Just, I'm so happy that so many of the best part of this team, the part of this team that absolutely had to show up, played maybe their best game of the year. They had to light up that Texas secondary, and they did. They had to set that secondary on fire because we weren't going to be able to run the ball, and the defense, who knows what you were going to get. The defense was going to be hit or miss, and for the most part of the game, they did miss, so we needed that, and we got it. And I'm so happy that they recognized the moment, recognized the severity of making sure that they balled out. They would need every last bit of it to actually have a chance to win, and they actually did it. Michael Penix accounted for almost as many yards as the whole Pittsburgh Steelers team had yesterday against the Seahawks. Crazy stuff, man. Absolutely crazy stuff. Love this receiver core. Love these tight ends. Penix maybe missed like one throw the whole game that actually cost us something. The early game miss to Westover on third down. Other than that, he may as well have been perfect, man. So shout out to that group. Dylan Johnson played the best that he could. There wasn't a lot out there for him, but it's Texas. What are you going to do? The defense, I got to give it up to Braylon Trice. I thought he played a really good game. Maybe the best game of his season. And we needed it too, because this defense left a lot to be desired. But Braylon Trice was bringing it. Muhammad was bringing it on the outside. I thought he played good coverage on some of those plays. We forced a couple of turnovers. We forced a couple, I think like 5 or 6 punts. I was blown away. I was blown away by the level of play from those guys. That collection of guys carried us to a competent, half-decent game on defense. So, all that out of the way, this game, we probably should have blown them out. I'm just going to say it. I know people are going to object to that. We probably should have won this game in a blowout. And the fact that we didn't came down to a handful of stupid decisions. There were just a handful of stupid things that happened in this game that made it the game that it was instead of the game that it could have been. This game came down to the last play. Literally 1 second left on the clock. Texas still had a chance to win because of a couple things. So, first of all, the fumble on the punt, which aggressively bad. He tries to catch the ball away from his body like he's trying to catch a pass from a receiver. And then he, like, jumps away from the ball after he fumbles it like it's got a spider on it. And it's just, that annoyed me. That was obviously annoying. Play calling throughout this game. I thought the play calling was crap, which made Penix's game all the more amazing. Like, with what Penix did in this game with play calling, that was just bad. Imagine if the play calling was good. Like, we spend most of that game trying to run the ball up the middle. Why are we doing that? We're playing Texas. We're playing Tavondre Sweat. We're playing Byron Murphy II. Don't run the ball up the middle at all, ever, under any circumstance, pretty much. We blew at least one drive, maybe two, because of our obsession with trying to establish the run up the middle. And it's never going to work against that Texas team. They are too good at stopping it. So that drove me nuts. That definitely took some points off the board for us. Maybe 10 or 14, I would say at least. And then, of course, you have the stupidity at the end of the game. Texas has no timeouts. We've got the ball, 3rd down and 5. Dylan Johnson's clearly injured, but you give him the ball, he goes down bad. Like, it looks like he won't be able to play next week. If he's able to play next week, I will be surprised. So, number one, you kind of screwed yourself a little bit with one of your better players being available for next week, when he clearly shouldn't be out there. That was evident to us in the second quarter here in the stream. You give him the ball, no gain. Not that that's a problem, but then he gets hurt, so now you don't have him next week. Oh, by the way, the clock stops. Now Texas has life. And then you pick up fair catch interference on the punt. It's just this there was this cavalcade of stupidity at the end of this game from this team. You take a knee on 3rd down, and you're good to go. You take a knee, Texas is getting the ball back with less than 10 seconds left. That's all you have to do. Take a knee. If you're going to run the ball, don't give it to your running back who's clearly injured, and now you screwed up his national championship game probably, so congratulations on that. And, I mean, that defense getting embarrassed on that last drive and almost giving the game up in 40 seconds, just... I couldn't believe I was watching it. Thank God it didn't happen. Thank God I don't have to really get mad about it, but some people need to answer for the decisions made in the final minute or so of this game. They were bad. There were other things that didn't go all that well in this game, but those are the things I don't trip on. Like, we couldn't stop the run. But, I'm not that mad about that. Texas is a good team. They're going to run the ball on you. I don't have a problem with Texas running the ball on us. They're a good running team. Our run defense is our weakness. So, who really... Am I going to sit here and trip on that? No, I'm not going to sit here and trip on that because it's football. That is normal football stuff. They beat you sometimes. We got beat over the top by Quinn Ewers and this Texas offense a couple times. That's football. That's how it goes every now and then. It is what it is. So that stuff is just the cost of doing business of playing a football game against a good team. They get you sometimes. Maybe a little more than I would have liked, but at the same time, this Texas this Washington defense forced, what was it, 2 turnovers, knocked a ton of passes down at the line of scrimmage, forced 5 or 6 punts, got a field goal at the end of that game, forced a field goal at the end of that game in a situation where they really needed to. And that to me is just kind of the give and takes of playing a team like Texas. They have a good offense. We don't have an elite defense. We have a defense that does some things right and does some things wrong. You need to support them in the right way. And I can forgive the defense being a little bit leaky because honestly, Quinn Ewers didn't do anything until the fourth quarter. He had like 80 yards. He had like 80 yards of offense. Well, 80 yards passing. He did run the ball a little bit. And, you know, the QB scrambles by Ewers were annoying. But again, that's football. That's just something that is going to happen. But you know what doesn't need to happen? Stupid, idiotic play calling. Keeping an injured player on the field when you don't need to. Giving him the ball when you're just trying to run the clock out. The special teams errors. Like, that's the stuff that I get mad about. Not giving up rushing yards. Not giving up the occasional big play. That Texas team has good receivers. They're going to get some plays on you. Okay. We got one more game to play, guys. Thank you, Michael Penix. Thank you, Romo Dunzy. You guys are absolute monsters out there. I love you. Probably going to have to bring something a little better than that if you want to beat Michigan next week. But we'll talk about Michigan later this week. Right now, I'm going to appreciate the fact that this team got it done, that this team performed when they absolutely needed to, and were able to hold on. That's just the Husky way. I'll never stop being angry at the stupidity, but this is such an amazing season. This is such an amazing accomplishment by this team, and I'm never going to forget that. All right, see you guys later. Bow down to Washington. Let's get it done.